Conspiracy Journal podcast. The transmission starts now.
I need water before we get started.
We're started.
I wasn't ready.
Do it closer to the mic.
Fuck. Okay.
Tell me about Hudson Valley UFO.
Hudson Valley UFO. Okay. One of the things that I love about doing this podcast is I'm like, I'm going to cover the Hudson Valley UFO incident, And in my mind, I remember it as this thing one way. And then I look it up and I'm like, that's not at all what happened.
Our memories are so dog shit.
I know. I'm like, I kind of wish I did it without looking it up first to see, or like wrote down what I thought it was and then compared notes to what actually happened. So I thought it was an incident. I thought it was a Hudson Valley incident that occurred at this one time, but that's not what happened. It was an experience that happened over many years. So what happened was, the way I remember it, is 5,000 people in the Hudson Valley saw one UFO.
When you say you remember it, like when this actually happened, you have a memory of it, or you heard about it
No,
later?
this happened the month I was born.
Okay.
So I don't
So your
remember it.
vivid memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember it like in my cells, know?
Yeah.
So what actually happened is over the course of between 2 to 10 years, 5,000 people saw different UFOs in the Hudson Valley. Cool. So I'm now going to refer to it as the Hudson Valley sightings and not the incident, because an incident implies one singular event.
Just as long as I can still sing Hudson Valley UFO.
Sure.
Okay.
So the sightings happened mostly over a 2-year period from New Year's Eve, 1982 to Halloween, 1985. But some people saw them up into 89. Some people are still seeing them today. So like you could say this experience has never really stopped.
I'm going to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is any of this included in like what was happening like over Jersey a couple of years ago? Everyone's seen like
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You said 82 to 85, or sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But like the shit that I like, when the Westchester, a boomerang, we're going to call it, when that was really popping off was 1984.
Okay.
Coincidence that it would happen in the year 1984? I don't think it's a coincidence.
Yeah.
What would it be a coincidence to?
I don't.
George Orwell.
I actually don't know, because that had nothing to do with UFOs.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know why I am the way I am.
Okay.
Okay.
It might be the Westchester boomerang. Might be at fault.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, you guys, I'm off track. All right, so the Hudson Valley, let's first of all talk about the Hudson Valley. The Hudson Valley is an area.
Beautiful
Beautiful area along the Hudson River, and it's just immediately above Manhattan. So it's Manhattan, directly north of Manhattan is the Bronx, and then we start Westchester County, and that starts the bottom of the Hudson Valley, and is really where all of this stuff that I'm about to talk about happens in Westchester County. We're talking 20 minutes, 30 minutes outside of Manhattan. You're already in the Hudson Valley seeing UFOs. So come on a journey with me. It is now March 17th or the 24th, 1983 or 1984. Everyone's a little loose on some of these dates.
Is that St. Patty's Day?
No, I think that's the 14th.
I thought it was the 17th. Maybe that's why they're a little
They're
bit
a little
loose.
bit drunk. Yeah. Listen, it doesn't matter. It's March in the 80s. Everyone's feeling real nice. It's about to be spring. And so anyway, this was covered in Unsolved Mysteries. There's a lot of news reports. There's a lot of newspaper articles. There's a lot of documented accounts, like people telling their stories. And one of the things that a lot of people talk about who are reporting on this, not that experienced it, a lot of people say in this area we have a lot of quote unquote respectable people. I think what people are trying to say is like they're not, crackpot loons. We have police officers, we have city officials, we have teachers, we have one guy who was on Unsolved Mysteries was like the vice president of IBM or something. Like people who have something to lose by saying, I saw a UFO.
Big IBM action up there in Westchester. big IBM
In this whole
headquarters.
East Coast, dude.
Yeah. This is also like a classic. So oftentimes people that see UFOs or cryptids or something like that are like what you would classify as crackpot loons, or people love to. So there's often this caveat, that's like, this person had a job.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
we know it was real.
I find that
Adds a little relevancy and like
Yeah.
believability to it.
It's a classic trope in these sightings for sure.
Yeah, and I have to say that I fall victim to it also. Like, that stands out to me when they're like, he had a job, so he must be telling the truth. I'm a little like, what the fuck are you talking about? But when someone's a skeptic, for some reason, I'm like, oh, this is legit because they're not a believer, Somehow that fools me into thinking they're telling me the truth,
Yeah.
That's kind of like the show, what was it, Joe Rogan Questions Everything?
Yeah.
And he talks about it. He's like, when you go Bigfoot hunting.
Right.
He's like, you're out in the woods with people that look like they go Bigfoot hunting.
Yeah.
It's like there's a type of person that goes out and does it. But like, I think that's changed over the years. I think more people are getting into this than...
I think so too.
Just the wild ass folks that live in the woods. We don't know what we heard.
Right. Yeah, I think that's true. I think we have, people in suits are talking about this stuff now.
Men in Black.
I mean, okay,
because we have to believe people in suits.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so it's mid-March. It's the 80s. We're respectable people with jobs, right? And this one lady, this was so scary. This one lady's like with her kid. They're driving on the Taconic, and the kid's like, Mommy, what is that? And she said it looked like truck lights right above the tree line. So not crazy high in the sky, just right above the tree line, coming directly at her. And, that's got to be terrifying. Like, what is falling out of the sky? What bright light is coming at me? As it gets closer, she slows down. And now I'm kind of going to jump around different people's stories. There's also a group of 3 women who were teachers coming home from school. And they talked about not seeing the same exact thing, but that just it got very bright, and for it to be nighttime on the Hudson Valley, still to this day, there are no streetlights. It is very dark up there. So for it to get bright, I think would be, if I was driving, I would cry. That's really scary. I don't like that.
And if you've never been up there to the Hudson Valley or driven on the Taconic, it's one of the craziest ass highways in America. I've driven all over this country. It's too tight. You're driving too fast. There's no lights. There's too many turns. It's really unsettling and jarring. And if it got real bright all of a sudden, it would be fucking crazy.
That's true. And now, nowadays, they try to make it feel safer by putting up a lot of signage everywhere that's reflective. And there's a lot of do not enter signs everywhere that you can see from places where you are okay.
If you've ever checked out the documentary, There's Something Wrong with Aunt Diane, that takes place on the Taconic. And based on my experience, there is more something wrong with the New York Department of Transportation than there was with Aunt Diane, because that road is fucked.
Yeah, I agree. That was a tragic story about a woman who drove in the opposite direction down the Taconic. And so
which is
everyone
like
knows,
super easy to do. It's crazy.
Yeah, like it's really a fucked up highway. So you're on this fucked up highway at night and it gets bright. I'm already a no. I want out of this nightmare story. So now, not only is it bright, but this lady starts to slow down because the Taconic has come to a complete stop. All the cars have stopped. Everyone has gotten out of their car. They're standing on the highway. They're standing in the grass off the side of the highway, looking up at this enormous UFO in the sky. And so the way most people describe it is V-shaped or boomerang-shaped. A lot of lights on the bottom. Some people are like, they're moving. Some people are like, they're red, then they're green, then they're white, then they're stroby, then they're still. But what everyone agrees on is that it's silent, completely silent. You can hear crickets. Like, fuck you. There's this giant thing in the sky. There's no sound. I'm out of here. I don't know about you guys, but I'm out of here. I don't like
the
this.
The lack of sound makes it so much more terrifying.
It's so eerie. I can't even handle it. So people describe it. A lot of people like to use football field as a reference. A lot of people say 1 football field. Some people say 2. There was a guy who was very poetic. He was on the city council So we know he's legit. He's got a city council job.
Did he measure it in leagues or something?
No, he called it a city of lights, which
beautiful.
I thought was beautiful, right? Beautiful. And reminds me of, I don't know if you guys have experienced this, but if you're like walking down the street in Manhattan, you can see the Hudson River and then you see a cruise ship go by and it looks like a fucking building is sailing
blocks out
down.
the sun.
Yeah. That's what I picture a city of lights in the sky to be like a cruise liner size in the sky, but flat and boomerang shaped. Obviously.
Do we have it? Sorry, just for my own question. Do we have any idea of how many people are like on the highway right now? Is it like tens of people or like 100?
That's a great question. I'm going to call my city council man.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask him exactly how many people were there.
And I'd like, from doing a lot of research, like there's like pretty basic stuff that sometimes is just not known. It's like we just don't know. Nobody said. So, especially when it's in the 80s.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the problem with like numbers.
It's the problem with numbers, you guys. All right. Listen up.
Let me tell you about numbers. They're problematic because this happens multiple times. There's multiple times that the Taconic comes to a stop. So I think sometimes it's a handful of people. It depends on where on the Taconic you were and like what night we're actually talking about.
Right.
But on the big night, people are calling the cops. Now, apparently 911 was like invented, but not really used. So people are calling the police station. And so like the lines are lighting up, the phones are off the hook. Everyone is like, holy shit, there's something crazy in the sky. And the cops are like, yeah, same. I see it too. We don't know what it is and we don't know what to do. Thank you for calling.
Please stop calling.
Yeah. Thank you for telling us. And so like, that's basically the reaction.
I mean, what would you do? Like,
totally.
other than say that to the person? It's like, we see it.
Yeah. And I mean, it was a different time. I feel like in the 80s, we weren't so gaslighty. You know, the cops were just like, yeah, we see it too. Like, thank you for calling, whatever. There is, like I said before, Unsolved Mysteries, one of my favorite shows in the history of my lifetime.
Shout out Robert Stack.
Oh, God, right?
Yeah, and his trench coat.
I know. So they interview a police officer who saw it, and she is like, so this happened in the 80s. The Unsolved Mysteries comes in like 92 to interview her, and she is still pumped. You know, when she's telling her story, she's like, yo, I'm sitting on the side of the highway doing like traffic control or whatever, and a fucking UFO comes down, and she's like, I was not scared. I was really interested, and it was going really slow, so I decided to follow it. And then somebody gets on the, like, you know, whatever it's called, the police radio, and is like, you know, 10-4, Roger, we got a UFO in the sky. And she's like, oh, dude, me too. I see it in the sky. And they're like chasing UFOs. Like, I got to say, that's better than a lost dog or somebody, you know, getting a DUI or something. I'm going to go chase a alien ship. That's a fun night on duty.
I mean, I kind of know the answer because you two are absolute kooks. What, are you chasing a UFO or are you running away?
Me?
Yeah.
I am so far gone.
And here I am. I'm like, I'm going to try hitting it with a rock or something. I'm throwing shit at it.
Dude. Okay, I was wrong. I thought you'd be like, yeah, I'm into it. But you're like, no, I'm out.
Dude. As soon as the white headlights were above the tree line coming at me on the
you fucking
Taconic,
nope out of there so hard.
Gone, dude.
Yeah. Nope.
I'm going back to Manhattan. I'll see you fucking Hudson Valley fucks later.
Yeah.
I'm just like that typical white dude that's just like, oh, there's danger? Let me get a closer look of that. Like, I'm just like, can you...
Let me see what it is. You're going to stand with your hands on your hip and dad pose?
Yeah.
It's probably 2 football fields, I think.
Yeah, can we bring that closer? I just want to get a better look at this. It is complete danger, but like maybe...
So the poetic city council guy who said that it was a city of lights. So when he saw it the first time, he was at home and he saw it in his front yard. And he said it was really low. It was L-shaped. And it was, you know, a city of lights in his front yard. And he's like freaking out. And it's going over the house. So he decides to run into the backyard so that he can see it in the backyard. He goes back there. And it's gone. Also, a lot of people report that it moves really slowly and then shoots straight up vertical. Gone. Poof. Goodbye. So it must have poofed right over his house. By the time he got to the backyard, it had already poofed away. So he puts his kids to sleep, totally normal. Rest of the night, whatever. That was weird. City of lights in my front yard. Then he eats dinner or whatever, puts the kids to sleep, goes to take the trash out, and it's fucking back. And this time he can see, I think Highway 98 is also another one of these highways that's like a hot spot. And for some reason, people think it's acceptable to stop on, So 98, like people have stopped on the highway that he can see from his house. And now the way he describes it is, I'm like, some people are saying V-shaped. He's saying L-shaped. But he made me understand L's and V's, because he was like,
I mean, it's all perspective. Of
Exactly. So now the L has like rotated a little bit, and now it looks like a V. And I'm like, dude, word. So now it's a V.
This is all like it's a... Like aliens and UFOs are like the raccoons of interstellar space. Like they just show up at night and then they get spooked and they leave.
Yeah,
like,
totally. Yeah.
They're just like following and like,
we're out.
They're inspecting things and like, what? We're out.
Later.
They're moving real slow, like you can't see them.
Right.
And then when they realize
they stop and look at you.
How can you see me? So the city councilman, he's out in his front yard now looking at the L is turned into a V and the highway stopped and whatever. I like so he was like, if I was a younger man and I had a baseball and a bat, I could have hit it. That's how close it was.
My type of dude.
Was this Greg?
Yeah. So just letting you know that your math is not alone. Yeah.
This is also like a good reason or a good thing that like less people have guns in these scenarios, because it's like somebody would have shot that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I gotta
absolutely.
Man, I wanna try to find a UFO story where somebody tried to shoot the UFO.
It's got
to have happened.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because especially we talked about the trope of like often who's seeing these UFOs is jobless yokels who have been drinking. They got guns. Mm-hmm. Somebody's got to take a shot at it. I mean, I probably would.
Yeah.
There's a story from a couple years ago. I mentioned earlier the drones over Jersey thing.
Right.
Where there's a video online. I think it was faked, but it's hard to tell. But there is a video of like a dude just shooting his gun at the things. Like,
hell yeah, Jersey.
You guys, put your guns away.
What are we gonna do when the drones attack?
Shoot them, apparently.
Yeah, that's right. If I was a younger man and I had a baseball and a bat, I would have hit it.
I could have hit it. That's how close it was. So people are reporting that they are seeing the same shaped craft. Their stories sound the same. It's V-shaped, depending on your perspective, maybe an L. Mm-hmm. It's got lights. It's big. It goes slow. And then it poofs away.
Sure.
Loves highways and the Hudson Valley. And the cops are like, yeah, we see it too. So now... So now some cops are like, nah, dude, those are planes. That's planes. I know what a plane looks like. That's a plane. They're flying in a V shape.
Why?
Goose-like formation. Mm-hmm. I don't know why men like to talk about the geese and the V shape, but it does make me understand. So whatever, mansplain it to me.
Like to talk about
you know what? It's just
I think they like
women,
to talk about it because that's how geese fly.
Yeah, women aren't like like geese fly. We don't do that. But you know what? It did help me understand what they meant.
What would you use to describe the V formation?
A V, the letter V, brought to you by the letter V.
But if you were going to equate it to a natural phenomenon.
Why would I? Everyone knows what a V looks like.
Because we're talking about things that are flying.
Sure.
But like planes don't fly that way. Like if anything, they would have to be commercial flights, and like they would never do that.
Obviously,
otherwise,
you've never seen the Blue Angels, bro.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like military would do that, but it's for very specific things, and they wouldn't be in like one area.
Right. Or would they? Yeah. So this is
which is the cops being like, it's planes. That's how planes fly in a V. That's bullshit.
We all call bullshit, but
I'm just defending my brothers who are like kind of like geese. I don't think that's crazy to say. That's all.
Listen, did I not say that it helped me? I said it was, you know what, men say it, but it was right this time.
You trashed us a little bit.
I did. I wasn't happy about it, all right?
Yeah.
But you were right.
But if it was hovering too, like the only thing that could be back then would be like helicopters, and they would be loud as fuck.
Loud as fuck. Yeah, we all know what a helicopter sounds like.
Yeah, loud as fuck.
Loud,
even
so
when
loud.
you don't see it in the sky, like especially in New York when like they're like trying to hunt someone down, like it'll be a mile away and you can hear it. And like, you're always looking up and like, where's the fucking helicopter? I hear
Especially
that.
when they're stationary, like when they're hovering, it's so annoying.
Yeah.
It's like, fucking go away.
And what, you have like
away.
15 of those like in one area doing like, what are we talking about here?
I know.
I used to live in LA and I would see when they were doing a manhunt, I could tell what was going on because I would look up and I would see one chopper low and then 4 choppers higher at the same level. And the low chopper was the police helicopter. And then it was the 4
the news
stations
yeah.
above.
Yeah.
And it was just this like very specific formation.
Yeah.
I lived in Hollywood, so there was like a fair amount of chases around there. And so this was like a semi-regular occurrence. Yeah. And yeah, there's no, I was never like, oh, is that a UFO?
right. Yeah. So actually, that's a very good point. So
Thank you.
you're welcome. So, all right, there's a New York Times article. Around this time, people were considered kooks if they saw UFOs, but you can't have 5,000 people call the cops and it not be talked about on the news. I mean, I guess you could, but that's not what happened. There were endless amounts of news articles and newspaper articles, magazines, the nightly news, all of that stuff was reporting on this. And there was a New York Times article that came out on August 25th, 1984, that talked about this one state trooper or whatever, police officer of some sort, who followed the UFO to Stormville Airport in somewhere in the Hudson Valley. And he said, and I quote, "It was a group of light planes. They fly in formation. The undersides and under the wings are painted black so they can't be seen from the ground. The planes are rigged with bright lights so that they can turn from one color to another, and the lights are what give it the UFO shape." So even though it did take me a moment to understand L's and V's, I do understand how at night, if it was painted black, you could use the lights to make it look like a different shape than it actually is. That I can, for some reason, easily understand in my brain.
But how big?
But how big, right?
Yeah, like how big is this thing? That like, oh, well, it's painted black and like there's lights in different areas that make it look like it's a shape, but it's probably not that shape. But like if they're saying a city of lights,
I
like,
know. So
how big is this thing?
They fucking men. They always have an answer for everything. They're like, oh, well, it's not just one. It's a formation. So they are trying to make us believe that multiple small planes have been painted black and are going in formation over this area very slowly.
Yeah, and could also like hover in place.
Yeah, no one actually said that it was hovering, but just that it was going very, very slowly. Okay. And so...
if that were the case, then too, it would have to be incredibly high that to our perception it was moving slow, but they were moving at a normal rate of speed. But if it's super low and like they would have to be huge. Like even if it is just like, oh, well, let's say it's 10 of them. Like they would still have to be big enough. They would be making noise, and then there's no account for it. Like there's no account for it moving slow other than that it was super high in the air.
If something's moving at any rate of speed, you're not going to stop to look at it. You know, like so the fact that people stop and get out of their car to look at this thing tells me that it's like moving very slowly.
Very, very slowly. Yeah. And I mean, I understand that like depth and our perception of what speed is from such a distance is crazy, right? We all have seen commercial planes in the sky, and most of us have been on one. We're fucking moving fast, you know? We can get from one side of the country to the other in 6 hours. That's really fast. But when I'm standing on the ground looking at one fly above me, it doesn't look like it's going that fast. Yeah. You know?
But that's like going back to my point of like these crafts would have had to been huge.
Yeah. And very high.
And very high for like the lights to even look like they were close to us.
Right.
Like,
while some people are reporting that it's right above the tree line.
Right.
You know, like that's super close. I could hit it with a baseball. You
is
know?
That like this like cop, his explanation is like, okay, I followed him. It turns out it's just a bunch of technology that doesn't exist. So don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. It's somewhere in the Hudson Valley.
So you could say it's unidentified.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's flying.
Flying? And an object?
It's probably an object.
Hudson Valley UFO.
Yes. Okay.
I want to see this sitcom now.
Yeah, I know.
It's a Loretta Lynn song. I had to look it up. It was the Harper Valley PTA is what it is. Yeah.
Hudson Valley UFO.
Yeah.
Okay, so right, we've got this cop who's like, definitely it's planes. Don't worry about it. They're painted black. They got lights. It's totally fine.
About it.
Yeah, there's also a couple other cops who are like, he's right, totally. So people call the FAA and they're like, yo, you guys, are there planes in formation flying around here? The quote in the New York Times article from Louis Atchkoff, the spokesperson for the Eastern Regional FAA, said, why would we care about a UFO? If the pilot's up there with a clearance and at the right altitude, we don't care what planet he comes from.
Fuck yeah, Louis.
Yo, 1984 was a fucking time.
Yeah.
What a
He's
statement.
like, as long as they're following the regs, dude.
Yeah, who cares?
Then
I don't give a
we're doing
fuck.
our job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's such an odd and specific way to dismiss what anyone's telling you.
It's truly.
I kind of love it though. It's kind of like respect, dude.
Yeah.
He's like, I work for the FAA, dude. If they're between the lines, right on.
Whatever.
Yeah.
That's if they're not breaking the law.
Yeah. He's
I don't really care.
like, good for
Yeah.
us, dude. We're regulating air travel from the interstellars.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
So,
I can just picture this dude. I picture the suit he's wearing. I can picture his tie. I can picture his fucking comb over and his gut.
Totally.
Sassy ass Lewis.
Fucking gray life, motherfucker. A lot of people have a lot to say about the plane theory. And most of it is just exactly what we were just saying. Like, if it was plane, that makes no sense. This makes no sense. A lot of these sightings are at dusk when you would be able to see if it was a plane painted black, you know? The other thing is, in order for it to maintain this shape, they would have to be very small planes and they would have to be very close together. We're talking like 3 feet or something. And that's like not a safe distance.
That's not FAA
That's not.
guidelines. So.
That is not a safe distance. Oh, you know something though? There was somebody interviewed in one of the documentaries that I saw that was like, I don't know what his official capacity was, but he was being interviewed at an airport. So he seemed official.
Legit,
Yeah.
Not even like in the airport. They're like at the
Was
fence.
he next to? I was
No,
gonna say,
but
was
he
he
was
next
like-
to a fence?
He was outside the hangar,
Okay,
one of the
okay,
hangars.
okay,
It was like hangar number 1 or whatever. So like he was legit.
At least they let him inside.
Yeah,
the
he was
fence.
inside the gate.
Yeah.
So he, I lost my train of thought, you guys. I forget what he said. He said something about being close together, too close together. Oh, the actual law. There isn't a law about how close you can fly together. It's just up to the pilots to consider it a safe distance. So,
And doing something like this at night would be incredibly safe.
oh yeah, totally, it's fine. So anyway, the other theory about the plane. Okay, all right. So there's a couple things to say about this. No one believes the planes. Also, no one called the cops when planes did fly over because a bunch of fucking hoodlum pilots had a bright idea to try to do this. They called themselves the Martians. They had little planes and they would fly at night and do weird light shit and try to spook people.
I like that because like they're inadvertently doing like a science experiment. They're
Kinda,
trying to
yeah.
like recreate the outcomes in
Right.
order to like prove something one way or the other.
Right. And they did it. They even said like we were doing it so that we could check in the newspaper the next day and see how many reportings were reported or how many sightings were reported or whatever. And no one reported them when they saw them. There were also multiple people who had seen the UFO and had seen the planes and was like, that's not what I saw. That's planes.
Yeah.
I see the planes. That's not what I saw the other night. So myth busted. Also, going back to Unsolved Mysteries, our homie and hero, Robert Stack, asked those pilots, the Martian guys, to recreate their flights, you know, their like organized Goose V nighttime flights during the day so that we could see it. and they wouldn't do it. Red flag, you guys. So,
Anyway.
Liars. One of the other things they said when people were talking about like, oh, okay, well, if they weren't like small planes, maybe they were ultralights. I was watching a lot of people's interviews, and they were like, I saw this and I saw that, and when I saw the ultralights and whatever. And so what I thought that they were talking about was some sort of light, like a ultra light of some sort. No, dude, they're talking about basically radio flyer. Like it's like a little tiny go-kart with wings and like a lawnmower engine in the back. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, for sure. I grew up next to like a really small airport.
Okay.
In a really small town, and so there was a lot of this type of stuff going on.
Oh, so is it like more of like a little glider? It's like a one person type of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think it's just like it's a very affordable entry into aviation. So if you're like just a regular person who's a pilot,
right? Yeah,
you're probably gonna fly an ultralight. Like it's much cheaper than a Cessna.
It's like a glider essentially,
yeah.
but like this size
with an engine.
With an engine.
Yeah.
Exactly. Very minimal aircraft is what we're talking about. Yep.
Yeah. So that's crazy. That's even crazier.
Respect to the ultralight community.
Oh, I want to do it. Are you kidding me? It's like skydiving, but not like you can. Like,
you don't want to be falling in this.
It's like skydiving without a parachute.
Yeah, it's like a skydiving plane toy.
Yeah.
I'm into it. I definitely want to try it. Like no shade on these guys. These guys are legit. But to say that that's what it was is insane.
That's even crazier.
It's crazy. Yeah. So
this is like it's really wild to me. Like the lengths people go to explain this stuff.
Right.
You can just be like, yeah, that's crazy. You know what I mean? You just be like, I don't know,
dude.
Yeah,
it's
like
so
people
wild.
have this like huge like adverse reaction to wanting to just say I don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
Like that's so crazy that they'll like think of everything that like it could possibly be, and it's just, but it's also like limited to what their knowledge is. Like we all suffer from this. So like whenever we're trying to explain anything, we put it into a way that like this is recognizable to me as this. But like trying to, if you see something that you've never seen before, how do you even put it into words? And
right,
like,
you don't have the language for it.
You
If
just
you
say, I
ever
don't
get
know.
them off that spot, then they're like, oh, it must have been the military. It's some secret technology the military has. And it's like, dude, why can it not be? Like, have you ever looked at the fucking sky, friend?
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going on out there.
There's so much
you know
stuff.
What I mean? If we got little planes around here, it's pretty possible somebody else got little planes somewhere else. Just saying.
Yeah.
And it's such a dumb like default way to, again, just to dismiss things and just be like, oh, well, that's just the military.
Yeah.
They have things that are like 20 years more advanced than we even know about. And it's just like, oh, okay, yeah, like it could be something else though. Like it's such a weird like way to just be like, oh yeah, I don't know, but neither do you. And it is what it is. It's probably just the military.
The military using technology that they stole from interstellar travelers.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
Yeah, I like that.
Occam's razor.
They even like
that's
a good point that they even put that in there. It's like, oh well, they have this alien technology from the crashed UFOs, and it's like, but how is it still still the military?
Not a UFO.
What are you
the
talking
military
about?
using technology from a different crashed UFO, but this is just planes for sure.
Yeah, this is a version of that they used from the like. Do you understand like how that sounds crazier?
So you remember the pilot guy that was at the airport in front of the hangar?
Yeah,
the guy the guy who is legit as fuck. Yeah. So he's an ultralight dude, and he was like, this is crazy. First of all, not a lot of guys have these things. So you would have to get guys from all over this area who have these to get together at night and fly them together next to each other. He's like, you can't even control these things like that. You can't be in a formation that looks like fighter jet perfect V in a flying lawnmower machine. Like you just can't, you know? And he that guy ruled.
Was he wearing a ball cap?
He was.
Fuck yeah, he was.
Yeah. And also flying one of these at night is illegal.
That tracks.
But one of the guys at the airport was like, we do have little lights that we can put on the bottom of them that are kind of stroby. And we are allowed to fly for a half an hour past dusk.
Civil twilight.
Is that what that's called?
Yeah. Civil twilight is the time after sunset, but before it actually gets dark.
But it's civil just because, like, you can still see.
I have no idea about
Yeah.
where the term came from. I just
Yeah.
know that that's what that time is called.
Okay. We're civilized still because it's
And
not
for
dark.
some reason, I like it.
I like it too, but I just
Yeah.
wanted to know why.
I have no idea.
Anyway, our very civilized gentleman at the airport, who may or may not be a pilot, but is a ultralight guy, said that you can fly during civil sunset,
Twilight?
whatever. But he was basically just like, there's no way. You guys are all
Yeah.
nuts. There's no way that this was a group of ultralights. He also mansplained depth perception and airspeed for a little while, but I feel like we've already covered that, so I'm not going to go over it.
Oh, did he get into like what we were talking about earlier? Right?
Yeah, and he was also saying like so ultralights don't go very fast, you know? And so if they're flying at like, I think that they want to stay, because they also don't go very high. That's another thing. And so I think they want to stay around 22 to 30 miles an hour, which is fucking slow in the air, but you're not that high. And he was like, but if the wind is blowing at 10 miles an hour from the ground, it's going to seem as though, even though I'm going 22, but I'm going against a 10 mile an hour force from the ground,
Yeah,
it's going to seem
appear
like
slower.
12 miles an hour.
It's like
know?
when you see like a bird flying and it looks like it's just staying
hovering.
in place.
Yeah, because he's getting pelted by the wind. Poor little seagull. I don't know why it's a seagull in my mind.
it was a seagull in my mind too.
Oh, yeah? What does that mean? Okay. So I feel good about saying there's no goddamn way it was planes. So fuck all those guys who said it was planes. So now.
Also, real quick, with an ultralight, and they would have to put like giant floodlights on these things, which would also cause a problem for the ultralight. And when I don't know offhand when the FAA started regulating their flight lights, like you need specific lights on the tips of your wings. Like that's a regulated thing.
Yeah, I think because those guys can't go very high and they're only allowed to fly during the day, I don't think that they have to have a lot of the lights.
They
because
do. If it goes in the air, like it needs lights on it. Even today, like even those little personal drones, like
they all have little lights.
You need to have like the little like red and green lights on them.
I mean, I know that they're little, but I'm looking at pictures and I don't see any lights on these little flying lawnmower machines. But I'm sure they're probably there. So I'm going to stop talking about planes because it wasn't planes. Also, those ultralight guys are ultra loud. Like, they're so loud.
It's essentially like a smaller helicopter.
Yeah.
And again, you put like 15 of them in the air,
Yeah.
you're just going to hear like crazy lawnmowers in the sky.
Exactly. And so between the, all of the sightings, the lights are scary. We've already discovered that as soon as I saw the lights, I would be out. But the fact that everyone says that it was totally silent is the thing that creeps me out the most. And is also the thing that debunks all other theories of planes, ultralights, helicopters. Like, it can't be any of those things. We've all been around them. They're loud as fuck. So we're moving on. So at this time, besides the people who were trying to debunk it with plane theories, there were also people trying to investigate this. Like, what the F is happening in the Hudson Valley? So there were hotlines created, which we love a hotline.
Strange exchange.
That's right. So we invented hotlines in the 1980s before the Strange Exchange. We already knew that this was the way. We being like the people, you know? So there would be like advertisements in the local papers as well that were just like, have you seen a UFO? Call this number. P.S. I definitely called the number and it's out of service. But I was pretty pumped. Anyway, so...
What if just a regular person answered? Hello.
When you Google the phone number, which I'll give you guys the phone number, it's in, you can look it up. It's 914-739-6830. When you look that up, a cleaners, like a laundromat comes up.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was that. But then you can also, it will lead you to some of these like old articles and stuff. So look it up. It's pretty rad stuff. So in 1984, the people in this area were tripping out. They're calling the hotlines. You know, they're seeing shit.
They're calling
wild.
the regular police number.
They're calling everybody. This shit is crazy. Call your mom. Call your dad. Call everybody. This shit is crazy. So
Call someone that has a baseball and a bat.
Yeah, try to hit it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Get the Little League team out.
Yeah. Yeah.
surprisingly, I didn't hear any counts from kids, but maybe that's because they weren't allowed to count it. But anyway, in 1984, in Brewster, New York, they have a New York UFO, they call a town meeting, basically. And they're like, everybody come to the town hall and we're going to talk about this shit. What they did not expect was 1,500 people show up.
Yeah. Yeah.
The news shows up. Everybody this is huge. Probably at the time, the biggest UFO.
This is all that's
conference.
happening in Brewster, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Turns out we're a little bit curious,
But
and
it's
it seems
also-
like maybe you got some answers.
Exactly. And also it's very close to New York City, so it's easy for people to get to, easy for a large amount of people to get to, even though it's remote. And also, I mean, we know small town life. These people are not missing this town meeting. There's no way.
You have a bunch of people like us. If we heard of okay, they're going to have a town meeting in Brewster, New York. We're in New York City.
I'm there.
And they're going to be talking about a UFO that they saw. It's oh, we're going.
I'm going.
So I can only imagine that it sparked the interest of a ton of other people that just went up and.
Do you think your uncle was there?
I hope so. I don't know. I wish he was alive to tell me.
That would be wild if he had some notes about this, because he was here doing the Mr. UFO at that time. He was definitely tracking this as it was happening.
He was literally sitting right where I'm sitting right now.
Yeah.
It was where his desk was, you know, probably reading this in the newspaper, crazy.
Yeah. Wow.
I did look through, all the electronic records I have of his to see if I could find anything on it, and I couldn't, but
probably destroyed by the government.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But there was the guy who put together this town hall meeting. His name was Peter Gersten. He was a criminal lawyer. Again, had a job, so we know he's legit. He lived in Peekskill, and he saw a UFO from his apartment. So he was a guy with a job, but also a believer. So we like that. So he invited UFO experts and researchers and stuff to this town hall meeting. So that probably helped spark, not just local loons, but, people who were, legit investigators and stuff. And
Your uncle was there for sure.
I hope so. Yeah. Unless he was drunk, So back to that New York Times article where they were the New York Times article is actually pretty good because it's hey, there was a bunch of sightings, but then also there was this cop who was it's just planes and I tracked him. But then the end of the article is we're going to have, a town hall meeting and you can call this hotline and whatever. So it was I thought it was a great article, but I pulled this straight from the article that Peter Gersten's going to put together this town hall meeting, and among the people attending will be Dr. J. Allen Hynek, who is
what up, Dr. Hynek?
Hynek.
Yeah, he came inside the Pascagoula guys.
Oh, yeah. Dude, this guy is so legit. So he is the retired head of the astronomy department at Northwestern. He's a former associate director of the Smithsonian Astrophysical Observatory and a former consultant to the Air Force on UFOs, a.k.a. Project Blue Book.
Yeah. And a former skeptic, which you love.
Yes, exactly. Dude, not only is he a former skeptic, but he was the guy who invented it was swamp gas. I think he may have been he may have been the original weather balloon guy. You know what I mean? He was just this is not a UFO and aliens. You guys are fucking nuts. Swamps fart. And that's what you saw.
Yeah, it was irradiated methane gas.
Yeah, exactly.
Escaping from this. We should find this swamp that's emitting this crazy gas. I think.
Totally.
That sounds more important.
Right. We love Dr. Hynek. So I don't know if that phone number I gave you guys earlier was Dr. Hynek's, but he also started a call center where you could call and leave your sighting. Also, you could listen to other people's sightings, which I feel like was some pretty advanced technology for back then. It wasn't just like, an answering machine. It was some sort of interactive phone line that you could call, which I thought was pretty cool. And he documents everybody's account. And he gets together with another guy, actually another two dudes, Pratt. I did not note his first name, but it was like Bob or something. But
Bobby.
Mr. Pratt, he's like a MUFON guy. He's a journalist. He's written for like a lot of like UFO Review magazine, and
Can we tell our listeners what MUFON is?
Dude, you guys. MUFON, I don't know what the acronym stands for. Let me Google it. I think it's MUFON. Basically, it's a mutual UFO network. So they are this organization that you can join with your fellow believers, and you can become a UFO investigator.
Do they have a website?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, they do.
Is it just MUFON.com?
I mean, I'm on something fucking weird as shit right now, but I'm sure
It is MUFON.com.
Yeah, they're all over the country. Speaking of my uncle, he was homies with one of the old school MUFON dudes, and he used to advertise Conspiracy Journal in MUFON's actual like physical magazine that used to come out. I don't know if they still do that, but they do. I'm a subscriber to their newsletter. They're a huge organization. So you can be a MUFON investigator. You can look up all kinds of facts. It's kind of like a legitimate source of research.
And if you join, you get some swag, which I think is dope. You get a MUFON hat. You get the membership card. You get the jam.
As soon as we make a little bit of fucking money, I'm going to join MUFON, and I want some fucking training, and I want to get out there. Yeah. But they also have an extensive library of accounts. So you can call them and you can leave them, whatever it is that you saw. You can file a report, and people will come out and investigate it and then write a report on it. MUFON is sick, bro. Okay. So Hynek,
I just gotta say, I love this guy. I mean, like, the fact that he came from this background, this is like hard science background, skeptic background, and then just through his exposure, through his investigations, became a believer over time. It's such a
dude. I love the story. Yeah, Hynek, you're the man. If you look him up, okay, sorry. So Hynek, who I feel like is probably like the lead of this team, collects all of this data from all of these people in the Hudson Valley who are saying they saw something. He gets together with Mr. Pratt, who is like a MUFON journalist. I don't know what Mr. Pratt looks like, but when you Google pictures of J. Allen Hynek, he looks incredible. He looks like an old dude. He literally smokes a pipe. He wears like a tweed blazer. Like he looks like a super smarty pants astronomy professor guy.
Gotta take him serious.
Yeah.
He's got a pipe and a tweed jacket.
I mean, dude, he's a physicist, and he knows stuff like about gas.
He does look exactly how you want him to look.
He does. It's like that. It's perfect.
It's like when I knew the ultralight guy was wearing a ball cap.
Yeah.
It's like I love when a guy looks how you want him to look.
Exactly. So there's another dude though, who is part of his team.
Posse.
Philip J. Imbrogno. When you look this guy up, he looks like a bald villain from a terrible episode of Law and Order or something. Like you don't like this guy off the bat. And this guy,
whoa, I just looked him up.
You looked him up?
Everybody
look him up. Philip J. Imbrogno.
Yeah.
Bad guy.
You're right, dude.
Bad guy. We don't like this guy.
Yeah.
He is like, basically like, I was in the military. I know everything about planes and UFOs, all of it. I know about it because I went to MIT and I'm science. And you're wrong and I'm right. I also, all those guys are talking about the UFO. I saw it And also in this area, it was the Indian Point Nuclear Power Plant, was in the Hudson Valley. He's like, they called me and they were like, come look at the UFO that's outside. And I was like, cool. And he was like, all the military guys in the area who would like come out to investigate stuff like this, he's like, they all called me. They all know me. They all called me. Turns out everything that guy said was a lie. So he was never in the military. He didn't go to MIT. He's bad. He is a bad man. We knew from looking at him.
Stolen valor.
Bad.
These are the real problem people who are kooks pretending to be legit.
That's what I'm getting to.
Yeah.
Is so these three guys put out a book called Night Siege, the Hudson Valley UFO sightings.
Sick name for a book, though.
So sick.
Much respect.
So sick.
Yeah.
And it's considered one of the most journalistic UFO books ever written because it is dry and boring. It is. He just lists.
This book sucks.
This book sucks, but it reads like research because it is research, you know? Hynek is like, here's account number 1, here's account number 2. They're all saying the same thing. It must be research. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He gets into some other stuff. I didn't read the whole book because it's out of print, but
And super boring.
it's super boring. But I read a lot of reviews from people who did read it.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's the same thing.
Yeah, I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV.
That's exactly right. So basically, because of this bad guy in Brogno, the book is like discredited. And like he gives, it took a long time for his name I don't know who it was who outed this man as being a fraud. But oh no.
Maybe it was the hotline calling you back.
Yeah, did you crank call me earlier?
Have you seen something?
Yeah. We're calling because you wanted to tell us about a UFO?
That's what they do. When you call,
government.
they pretend it's disconnected.
Yeah.
And then
They call you back.
Yeah.
You know, it did sound like a suspicious thing. It was like trying to sell me the phone number.
Super sus.
Yeah, it was sus. It was like, we can find you a different business. Anyway, so this book comes out. I don't know who outed this man as being a bald-headed villain, but after he gets outed,
If it wasn't anybody, he is now.
after he gets outed, that book loses, it has a bad name now. Now everybody in the Hudson Valley looks like a kook because this guy ruined it for everyone.
That's a military tactic as well. Is like
Fucking knew it.
Yeah, where I'm not saying this is what he did, but what they'll do is they'll give someone, it's essentially a military asset or someone that has like a little bit more of inside information, and they'll essentially poison the well. Mm-hmm. They'll go in, spread dumb shit, and then that discredits everything else.
God, so good.
So
They're
people
so
stop
good.
talking about it, and like anything that comes up related to this, if he's like the spokesperson or something for it, it then becomes like, oh, it's just all nonsense. Like, look at all the nonsense he wrote. Like,
that's what when I covered the Dulce base, same thing. That one poor guy. That's exactly what they did to him, and they admit it. They're like, we fed him a bunch of misinformation, so he would go out and say it, and then we could be like, look at this crazy guy. Don't look behind the curtain.
Did he kill himself? The Dulce guy?
I forget. Everybody died really tragically in that story. Like kill himself. Like, you mean he got murdered by a fake suicide? Then yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
yeah, he hung himself and shot himself twice with a shotgun.
That's right.
Yeah, their levels of their ability to spread disinformation is spectacular and so well executed.
And I think a lot of people, like, there's a lot of shows that cover these topics that have people on that like I'll pay attention to and listen to, and I'm just like, oh, he's here to be that useful idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not saying that's what like this Imbrogno dude is, but like it just sounds like that's what it is, where it was just like, this is how we're going to get people to stop talking about whatever this was.
Turns out he did work for the military.
Oh, shit.
I'm just very upset that they burned such a sick title like Night Siege.
I know.
On this fake book.
Fucking dick.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's also another lady I want to talk about. Her name is Linda Zimmerman. All right, I don't know her personally, but I feel like kindred spirits. Like, this lady is pretty rad. Like, maybe she's like a lost aunt or something, or cousin or some shit. But she lives up in the Hudson Valley, and she is like the local ghost paranormal lady. You know, she's writing books. She's like doing radio shows. She's rad. She's just a rad lady. And people would call her all the time and be like, yo, I saw a UFO. And she'd be like, I don't do UFOs. Sorry. You know? And eventually she gets enough phone calls or whatever about UFOs that she's like, okay, fine. I'll do UFO. So she writes a book called Hudson Valley UFOs, The Best Evidence. But she also does a documentary at the same time. And I watched this documentary. It's illegally available on YouTube. It's 2 hours. And, you know, in the same vein as Hynek, she just interviews people and lets them tell their story. You know, but this was made in like 2013, I think. So these people had seen this in 1983. So it's not super fresh. But some people are in the documentary are also talking about things they saw more recently. There's even a guy who saw something in the 50s, you know. So it's like just a lot of people from the Hudson Valley who have seen UFOs. There's even a man who is in contact with an alien being who does actually show herself to him at one point. And guess what she looks like? A tall white.
Ooh,
Yeah.
she's a tall white.
She's a tall white. He looks like a beautiful Swedish woman. And I was like, oh, tall white. Learned about that also at Dulce. Go back, listen to that episode. It's, well, you know what? I don't know if it's good because I was really overwhelmed. But crazy
To be
story.
honest, the Dulce episode is probably my favorite so far.
It's super fun.
It's
yeah,
so like,
it's a wild ride from top to bottom.
yeah, it's like a multi-level, like, and it literally is
Yeah,
a multi-level
yeah.
thing, but like it got crazier and crazier.
Yeah.
I can't tell you guys how tweaked out I was trying to research that thing.
Yeah, when you pop into
Yeah.
the sketchy ass
Woo.
Dulce elevator, you got to buckle up.
That's right. You do. You do. Okay, so Linda goes out. She makes this documentary, which starts at the Pine Bush UFO Fair Day. So I got to get a little sneak peek of what this day actually looks like. And Pine Bush, New York, has become almost like a Roswell, like everything's a little kitschy alien situation. You know, like even the local diner is called the Cup and Saucer. And it's like a teacup and a flying saucer, you know? It's so cute, you guys. It's a cute little alien town. And she goes there and she starts interviewing people. And then she travels around the Hudson Valley and she interviews mostly people who had, you know, one of these 1983, 84, 85 experiences. One of the things that I found really interesting was she also comes upon a UFO support group that meets, I think, like the first Monday of the month in Pine Bush. And it feels like an AA meeting. You know, it's like a bunch of dudes in a church basement. Not just dudes, there's women there as well. But I just, you know, I think I found it to be really beautiful that there is this like semi-organized thing that people can go to and talk freely with each other about whatever it was that they saw. You know, and they can get into some high strangeness. It doesn't have to be just, I saw a UFO in 1983. It can be whatever. Some people there have been going for decades. You know, some of them go religiously every time they have a meeting, and some of them just kind of pop in. But it seemed like, I don't know, just like I have found the UFO and paranormal community to be super welcoming and just really, really wonderful people. And so I can imagine being someone who saw something and not being able to talk about it, or not having like, I mean, can you even go to your therapist and be like,
Yeah, you
this
start
traumatic thing happened to me and I can't talk to you about it because I sound like a crazy person or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, where do you go with this? And these people have created a place to go. And I just thought that was amazing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you start telling people like in any kind of official authoritative position,
Right.
it's just like, oh yeah, you're a lunatic.
Right.
Yeah, so dismissive, especially something that is potentially so traumatic for an individual.
Exactly. Yeah. You have this trauma that you walk around. And this woman, Linda Zimmerman, in the documentary, she does also ask these people, how did this affect your life? You know, and some people aren't affected at all. They're like, I don't know how it affected my life, but like, it was crazy, you know? And some people are like, it has wrecked me. I've never been the same. This is crazy. Another woman was like, I had to find religion because that shit was nuts. And I'm a born again Christian. So I truly believe that I saw the devil. And so, people are affected by this.
It's also fascinating the words that we like ascribe to these events and these things.
Yeah.
Like if you are a religious person, you'll be like, oh, it was a demon or a jinn or like
that was demonic.
And it's just like, oh, like, but some people call them aliens and spirits and like whatever. Like, like we have a lot of words for all of the same experiences essentially.
And I mean, that's true worldwide.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, this woman who was not a believer, I mean, she was, obviously already in this like paranormal world, but like, I think I personally, I will speak for myself, I believe in a lot of stuff, a lot of spooky stuff, but like I do have a line. And when it gets crossed, I'm like, oh, I no longer, like, I don't believe this anymore. Like, you crossed my line. And sometimes I'm surprised by what my line is, And for whatever reason, this lady's line was aliens and UFOs. She was like, I believe in ghosts all day, but UFOs? No, So she goes and interviews all these people and she like gets into these support groups and like whatever. And she leaves being a believer. She flies in a fucking ultralight. And she was like, that was awesome. Also, couldn't have been ultralights, but like, she really liked that experience.
That's one of the cooler things about like this community is just the people that will go out to try to test their own things. And like they question authority so much that they'll go out to either prove them right or wrong. Like, and a lot of the times it's just like, oh yeah, my ideas on this were dumb. And I don't know why I used to believe that.
Right.
And now I don't because I did the test myself.
Right. It's something interesting too is like because so many people in this relatively small area had experiences and then everyone debunked it, or everyone being like the news media or whatever is like, you guys are crazy, it creates this area of people who don't trust the government, who don't trust the news, and it's like everyone. It's not just like, oh, the one weird guy in town. It's like, no, the whole town doesn't trust the government because the government doesn't trust them. So in the documentary, she even talks about like this area being, really full of people who are a tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theorists, and just because they're paranoid doesn't mean it's not true. But one of the interesting things that I think is like, there's a show, it's currently on HBO called Alien Invasions. And there's a guy named Ben Hansen, who's a former FBI agent. Now he hosts TV shows. There's an investigator from Ancient Aliens named Melissa Tittle, I think. And there's also a guy in the Hudson Valley episode called named Mark D'Antonio, and he has a degree in astronomy and is a MUFON chief photo video analyst. And so they cover this story as well, and they do some stuff that I think is super interesting, which is like, why the Hudson Valley? Like, what makes this a hot spot? Are there like minerals? And is the land rich with something? And it is, dude. It's got a lot of iron ore, magnetite. There's also a lot of quartz. Also has a lot of tourmaline, which I think is really pretty and comes in a lot of different colors.
Very powerful stone to ward off evil spirits.
That's
black
right.
Tourmaline.
I use it all the time. So this all sounds super legit fucking vortex making area shit to me. So on the show, they interview a guy who heard a sound, and we all know Greg loves fucking sonic warfare. So these guys would be up Greg's alley because they try to recreate the sound that this guy heard, and then they play it. And I mean, there were lights in the sky. I mean, they may have like called some aliens and they get it on video. It's a very like Ghost Hunters Alien Edition type thing. Then they start testing people's blood because they have a theory or, something that they're researching about Rh negative blood. So I don't know where they got this idea from, but they took a bunch of people who have been seeing UFOs for either like since the 80s, but also maybe multi-generational. You know, like some people, especially in the town of Pine Bush, are like, my whole family has seen UFOs as far back as we have family history. These guys from Alien Invasion are like, why? You know, so they start testing their blood, like maybe aliens are doing some gene DNA testing or whatever, and that's why they keep coming back to the same people or the same family lines, because there's something in these specific human genes or DNA or whatever. And something they start looking for is Rh negative blood.
Lizard people.
So I tried, you know, it's been a long time since I went to med school, but I tried to look up what Rh is, and it's a protein in our blood, but it doesn't seem to like do anything. So people who have Rh negative blood, I mean, if they need a blood transfusion, then like they need other Rh negative blood, but otherwise it like doesn't do, it's not like a protein that does this to you or doesn't do that. It seems fine. So at the very end of the episode, Alien Invasions, Hudson Valley edition, on the screen, they say that they cannot tell us because of like HIPAA laws or whatever, if these people's blood work came back as Rh negative. You know, I assume they're trying to rope me in to this, you know, but they did say that some of the tests came back positive for Rh negative blood. So there could be something to the genes. There could be something to the tourmaline. There could be a reason why the Hudson Valley is a hotspot, but I don't know what it is. All I know is it wasn't ultralights.
Fucking A.
Fucking A.
All right, there it is.
Yeah. So if you saw an ultralight or you saw a UFO or you have Rh negative blood, whatever it is,
give us proof.
Yeah, send us your blood work.
Or your blood. Just kidding. Please don't send us your blood.
No, never send us your blood, please, ever. Never, ever. But do call us at the Strange Exchange, 929-445-3705, and tell us, but don't send us anything.
If you can get your blood through the phone lines, I'll allow it.
No, I don't want it even in the phone.
I want to see it.
We can give it a shot. I don't know how that would work, but
exactly.
Yuck.
We'll figure out the technology.
I'll be
for that.
impressed.
This does like remind me of the Phoenix lights in Arizona. It's kind of the same thing. It's about 10 years later. It was like 97 that happened. And it was funny too, because like the official report was that it was just, they were flares being dropped from like an F-16 or something like that. And it was just like, no, like, but that's what the FAA and the military say. It was just like a routine thing, nothing to see here.
We're just doing our normal flare dropping from our F-16s.
Yeah.
I love that the FAA in Arizona in the 90s was like, oh, it's flares, don't worry about it. But the FAA in New York in the 80s was like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah, who cares?
As long as they following the rules, we don't give a shit.
We don't give a fuck what dimension they come from.